this is another equation with variables on both sides, but with this one, instead of having to distribute, if you look at the left side, I need to combine like terms. I have two x terms, so this side is not completely simplified. So what I taught you to do in class was to box and circle. So box in your x terms, circle your constants. It helps you differentiate between the two types, and it also helps you identify your sign, which will help you completely simplify that expression the correct way. So first of all, I also normally put in a -1 there anytime I have a -1x, or sorry, a negative x. I also did that in my check too. It just makes things easier sometimes and helps you remember that that's really -1x, so you can combine it correctly with a different x term. So I'm going to box in my -1x and box in my -6x. The sign is always to the left of the term. This is going to therefore be a +7. So off to the side, I can go down here at the bottom and just do a little t-chart. This helps me remember that I can never combine, add, or subtract any x term with a constant. So what I'm going to do in my x column is just write down my -1x, my -6x. The constant column, all I have is a +7. I'm not going to include this, the right side. This is already completely simplified. Boxing and circling and doing a t-chart is simplifying an expression. So I'm only going to simplify this one side. So therefore I will not include this other side. That side is all set. So -1x minus 6x is -7x. The +7 is the only constant I have, so that's it. So my completely simplified version of this expression is -7x plus 7. And I'm going to bring that other side down as well. So now we have an equation that actually looks like ones that we looked at last week. So the next step would be to look for the variable term that has a smaller coefficient. -7 is smaller than -3, so I'm going to go after that one. That strategy will keep your x term positive, which is good for a few reasons, which we talked about a lot in class. So I'm going to add 7x to both sides. I'm going to write that 7x right underneath my variable term so I don't accidentally confuse myself and try to combine that with one of my constants. So -7x plus 7x is 0, so all I have left is a +7. On the right side, I have 19. And then -3x plus 7x is +4x. Now, like I've mentioned before, these two expressions are equal, so if I want to swap them around that equal sign, I can do that, because if they're equal, they're equal. It doesn't matter which one goes on which side. So over here, I'm just going to write that down exactly the way I see it. 19 plus 4x equals, on the right side, I'm going to put my 7. If you like, if you're perfectly fine with it this way, I'm fine with that too. You don't have to swap them. But a lot of students have gotten used to seeing their x on, or whatever variable, on the left side. So if it makes you feel more comfortable, you can do that. So next I have a two-step equation. I need to isolate my 4x, because if I do that, I can just divide by 4 and I'm done solving. So the 19 is a problem. I'm going to subtract 19 from both sides, because it's a +19. So that will get rid of the 19. I have just 4x equals, on the right side, 7 minus 19 is -12. And when I divide by 4 on both sides, I get x equals -3. So I have my answer. Now I need to check to make sure that it makes my equation true. So I put my original equation, and I'm going to put my -3 everywhere I see an x. And if I use the order of operations correctly, I should get the same number on both sides. Alright, so on the left side, just a little bit, there we go. On the left side, I'm going to do my multiplication or division left to right. So we just have some multiplication to do left to right. So -1 times -3 is +3. Then I bring down my +7, and then -6 times -3 is +18. On the right side, I have to do my multiplication before I would do any subtraction. So 19, and be careful, -3 times -3 is a +9. All right, so now on the left side, all I have is addition, same thing on the right side. So I normally would do my addition or subtraction left to right. So 3 plus 7 gives me 10. On the right side, when I have 19 plus 9, that's going to give me 28. And on the left side, I will also get 28. So that tells us that we did our job correctly.